Hey there, everyone. I'm back and I'm ready to share the day. So let's go ahead and get started. So here's what I remember. When I woke up in the morning, it was around 9 a.m. I was once again woken up by my mom, who went in my room and she asked me if I could help her take down the um, the shade tent that we got for our family reunion um, later in the day before I left for work. I agreed to, and then she said she was leaving for work, so I said bye, I love you, and she was off. I then pretty much went back to sleep again, and I stayed in bed until around 11 o'clock, where when I got up, I got out of bed and I was in the kitchen and I saw my sister and I greeted her. Um, I remember my sister was on her phone and we waved hi to each other. And then I went in the kitchen and I was looking for something to eat. So I was looking around and I discovered we had the protein raisin bran cereal. I was like, well, I don't really see anything else I'd want to eat, so I'll just get that. So I got the protein raisin bran cereal. I got put that in a bowl with some milk, and I made some coffee, and I had that. It was pretty good, and I remember my sister was showing me some videos she saw on the internet. Um, oh man, for whatever reason, I'm having a difficult time remembering what they were, but they're. I remember she thought they were funny. She wanted to share them with me, so I saw them, and I remember I thought they were pretty funny too. But for whatever reason, I'm blanking on what they were. So I finished eating the cereal and drinking the coffee, and then I told my sister that I would be going in my room and working on my new YouTube project. And she said, all right. I said, yeah, I'm going to work on something new. And she thought I was going to work on my Brain Jam channel, which I still plan on working on, but it was going to be something different. And then she said, jam it up or jam it up, something like that. So I went in my room and I went on my computer and I decided to look up the cartoon news on Cartoon Brew to see what was up. And apparently, Tim Curry died today. So rest in peace, Tim Curry. My thoughts and prayers go out to his family. He lived a very very storied career. Lots of iconic roles, from the Rocky Horror Picture Show to It, the original It clown, to Nigel Thornberry, to the waiter from the movie Clue. He was and countless voice roles for television throughout the 90s and 2000s and early 2010s. So, yeah, he was just a, very prolific actor, and he will be missed. So, R.I.P. Tim Curry. Well, after I found that out, I watched a compilation of all the different voice roles of all the different cartoons that he portrayed over the years, and I was struck by how many different cartoon voices he did. Like, I was like, wow, he really did get a lot of work back then. Lots of 90s cartoons, lots of 90s cartoons. And then I went out into the living room, and I told my sister about the news, and she said, "Yeah, I know." And then she said, "I hope my boy Mel Brooks isn't next. I really like him." I was like, "Yeah, can you believe he's like 100 years old and he's still working on movies? Dang, yeah, that's crazy." So very wild. And then I decided to make a cup of coffee, pour a bit of the Harry Potter chocolate frog flavoring in, which kind of tastes like those Lindt chocolate truffle bar balls with the nuts over them. And I vowed I'd go back in my room and work on that project I said I was going to be working on. So that's what I did. And when I went in, I set up OBS and I did hotkeys for my side camera, my front camera, um, my video feed, and my drawing feed. And I just I clicked this record button and I basically winged it. I was explaining exactly what I was going to be doing, which was go over a tutorial online of how to do contour line work, and then study the information, draw to the best of my abilities what I could on my tablet attached to my computer, and then once I was done, edit it all and put it together into a video, and posted on a new YouTube channel that I've recently just created. I figured out how to create it on my main channel. It's like a branch off of my main channel. It's called Noah's Digital Sketchbook, or Noah's Video Sketchbook. I think it's Noah's Video Sketchbook. I gotta look it up. But that is what I have created, and I plan on posting all of my lessons of me teaching myself how to become a better artist on that YouTube channel as sort of a buildup of evidence of me learning to draw and my work over the years. Yeah, so expect the first video to drop on there very soon. I recorded 20 minutes of me studying how to draw, and I edited for about like an hour. I was able to cut out a good like 4 minutes of footage, but I still am going to mull over it again tomorrow morning when I wake up. And I basically just want to get rid of a lot of the parts where I basically over explain myself, or there's pauses that are too long, or I just say or a little too much, and try to make my video just as concise as possible. Part of me wants to add music, but another part of me is like, I want to make these just straightforward. I mean, sure, music would be kind of fun in the background, but you gotta find non-copyright music, and then once you find it, you gotta make sure you time it in a way where it feels like you're not just slapping a background track throughout the whole thing, but you're actually putting in purposeful spots. But then a part of me is like, should I dedicate that energy towards my Brain Jam channel and less so on my digital or video sketchbook channel? I probably should do that. So, that's something I'm trying to figure out right now. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of issues I ran across, as you will see in the video, where I would press like keys in the video and hotkeys to jump between different camera angles, and it would affect other software, other programs. Like, I'd press 3 to jump towards the sketch part on YouTube, but then from YouTube to my tablet. But when I press 3, it would trigger like a hotkey on YouTube that would have the video playback jump to a different part in the timeline. So I tried to switch it down to QWER on my hotkeys for my OBS setup, and it worked well for YouTube. But when I tried it out um, on Krita, my drawing software I'm currently using, uh, I activated certain part programs that I didn't intend on activating, and so it just made the process a lot more challenging than it really should have been. So that's definitely something that I need to figure out. I need to realize, okay, what hotkeys should I assign that's not going to mess with either YouTube or with Krita, that will make it easy for me to jump between my different, you know, footage I'm filming. So it'll make the process much smoother going forward. And also make sure before recording to have the proper setup, i.e., the right shading tool from Krita selected, and um, have make sure I know what like certain hotkeys do, and basically just make the process as streamlined as humanly possible. So that's a lot that I'm learning right now. And I want to go back to also doing my Brain Jam Extra video that I've been neglecting for, I think, at least like 4 months now. I think, yeah, I've been bad about that. But yeah, I want to like switch between those two, switch between my digital sketchbook and switch between the Brain Jam Extra YouTube channel and also just the main Brain Jam channel. If I can do that, that would be really good, because like, I feel like I just spend way too much time watching like YouTube and kind of watching my life pass by, and I feel like I'm still relatively young. I'm like 27 years old, and I've got like my whole life ahead of me. So if like I can like dedicate my time to building my own personal skill set and like building a strong reputation through the art world, then I think that will be really good. Because right now I have zero reputation, because I spend most of my time like just working or chores or just goofing off, and then I vlog about it, and like I'm like, wow, I just don't really have much going on. So this is something that I'm excited to further work on and develop, and yeah, these vlogs will definitely help me stay accountable when I need to report about them. So yeah, I even told some coworkers about working on this new digital video sketchbook project, and they seemed pretty interested. So that was pretty cool. So yeah. But anyways, yeah, I was in the midst of finishing recording the video, and then the digital sketchbook, and then editing that on Adobe Premiere Pro, and then my mom asked for help. She had arrived and asked for help to close the container or not the container, the shade thing we had, the shade tent we had for our family reunion, and put it away. And we even got help from my sister too. So we worked on that, and we were able to put that away and zip it away, and I carried it. Then my sister helped me carry it halfway through to my mom's car, put it in the back there, and then it was good to go. So yeah, then I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna like try and continue working on my video, and my mom suggested making a bean and beef burrito for me before I left for work, and I gladly accepted the offer, and she made it, and I had that with Coke Zero, bottled Coke Zero, and I decided while I was eating it to watch that new, that old Too Many Cooks Adult Swim short, just because I know that new movie made by that same creator is coming out, Buddy, and I kind of want to, get a refresh of what that was like. And something kind of funny about like how it starts off as like a innocent, like, like 90s family sitcom, and that there's some weird stuff that appears like randomly. They were like, oh, that's sus. Like, there's this weird, scary, creepy guy in the background, like of like certain shots, and over as the video plays, like he starts like taking people out, and it's like, oh my gosh. So it's a very very interesting project, and I think I see this creator's sort of thing. He takes what were once like wholesome, like, family shows, and he basically turns them into more dark, edgy, creepypasta style content, or not content. I hate that word. Shows as well. So yeah, very cool, very cool. After I was done eating, I realized my the bean and beef burrito with the Coke Zero. I realized my time was running out, so I need to get dressed and ready to go to work. My sister offered a salad that she worked on. I accepted it. She made the salad. She even put some of the sausage slices that were from our family reunion on there. And yeah, I happily ate that. It was very good. I had to eat it fast because I need to leave for work very soon. And when I was done, I said goodbye to my mom and sister. I told them both I loved them. And then I went off to work in my car, drove off. And when I arrived, I punched back in. And when I punched back in, I put on my sweep vest and I started bagging for customers. But then midway through, I was asked to do my sweeps, so I did my sweeps. I greeted one of the workers at the produce, and I was going to do a fist bump, but they did the snail, which was pretty funny. And then they were like, what other things you got? I was like, I got an idea. Next time when we do it, I'm going to be like octopus, or I don't know, wah, 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 or something like that. And then we're like, gear shift. I'm like, oh, that's creative. Kind of reminded me of that cloud from that Trolls movie. But yeah, pretty cool. So yeah, I swept the produce area. I went upstairs. I swept the break room. I greeted one of my coworkers who's been working at that store for like 30 years, and they decided to take a selfie with me. So we took a selfie together. That was pretty cute. And they asked me to take a picture of them. So I took a picture of them, and it's pretty interesting. Yeah, we went through the photos to find the best one and like delete the ones that weren't as good. So yeah, first time a coworker's done that with me, by the way. So pretty cool. After that, yeah, I finished sweeping. I, of course, would punch in my sweeps. And then I swept the store floor. Yeah, and I used the restroom. After that, I finished doing my store floor sweep, punch that in. I would go in and bag a bit. And then it was time for my first break, which I asked for, and I was given the go-ahead. So I went upstairs and I did some breath work. I did something unusual this time. I decided to put the breath work at 1.5 speed instead of just regular speed because I wanted to go through the whole breath work exercise routine. I find it wasn't as intense or relaxing as the regular speed, so I'm just going to go back to regular speed. I just thought it'd be an interesting experiment, but it felt kind of rushed, which I wasn't a fan of. Yeah, and then I went back downstairs. I got started on my, closing duties with taking out the trash, including the outdoor trashes, the front end trashes, the bathroom trashes, the upstairs break room trash, the upstairs bathroom trashes, the what's the other one? The janitor's closet trash, and the receiving trash wasn't really full at all, so I left that one out. I threw all that away. I remember I was asked by one of my coworkers if I could throw out their trash. I was like, okay. So I threw out their trash too. And then I what happened after that? Oh yeah, I brought bags up to the front and stuffed the bags in the check stands in the front. And around that time, it was time for my lunch. So I punched out for lunch. I went upstairs, and when I got upstairs, I put together my lunch assembly, which included 1/5 of my Italian family sub sandwich with mustard and mayonnaise packets, put on top. Just opened and squirted on, not like literally packets put on top. But yeah, I did that, and then I had 14 Pringles chips. I remember the name now. Pringles chips, and a bottle of A&W Zero Sugar. And oh, we also had a free snack that was being given out for employees. It was these like oat and honey fruit bar kind of snack things. So I got that because it was free. And I had 2 of those bars. And while I was eating all that, I was watching a. I remember I was watching a Digital Foundry video about um, this new Plague Tale game, but because I was using my phone's data to watch the video and it was so low res and pixely, I wasn't really getting the full feeling of this game. So I was like, it feels kind of silly watching it this way. So I decided to click away from it and try to find something else to watch. I decided to watch this video from Eyes on Cinema of like an 82-year-old man who was talking about his like alien stories, and apparently he stated he got like healing powers from the aliens and helped people with their back pain. It's pretty weird. um, and yeah, I think that's like it. Oh yeah, and then I was asking ChatGPT um, about why there were so many ingredients on the oat fruit bars that our work gave us. Like, because I looked at the back of the box and I was like, dang, that's a lot of ingredients. So I took a picture of the list of ingredients and I asked like ChatGPT, why are there so many ingredients and what does each ingredient do? And basically it was a bunch of like different agents they put into the bar that keep it shelf stable and give it like a texture that's like, tolerable when you open it and eat it. It's mostly like just a bunch of leavening agents that like have these really long scientific sounding names, and it's like, oh my gosh, what am I putting into my body? um I mean, it tastes good, but knowing it's got so much of that stuff in it just feels like yikes. And then I asked, like, is it possible to make a more simplified version at home? And if so, could you give me like a recipe? And it was like, sure. So it generated that. I was like, oh, I wonder, maybe one day I'll try that, see what happens. Like, it offered things like chia seeds and like fresh strawberries and things like that. It's interesting. And then I returned back to my work. I punched back in. I finished filling up the bags in the front. I then wiped down the check stands all throughout. And I remember talking with one of my coworkers about how apparently they got sick and they were going through a cold. They had like the sniffles. And yeah, so yeah, we talked about that. And then I remember, like I mentioned, the are they excited about that new Studio Laika movie, Wildwood? And they said they're not really a movie guy; they're more of like a music guy. But they know someone, a friend of theirs, who is a fan of those movies, and they're looking forward to it. And then they asked me why I was interested. I was like, well, it's because I like stop motion, and the amount of work and effort they put into making that movie looks like incredibly high. Like, it's got so many different moving, like, stop motion figurines in it, like, puppets. It's insane, like how much work they put in. And the weird thing was their last movie they did, Laika's last film, Missing Link, didn't really make a whole lot of money. It was a very, you know, It wasn't that big of a box office hit, and yet they still continue to make movies, which is crazy. I think their sole existence is because of the goodwill left from Coraline, and that's completely fair because Coraline is a fantastic movie, like one of the best films ever made, in my opinion. It's got awesome music, it's got memorable art direction, it's got a really creepy story that really sticks with you. It's just very great, like peak 2008 hipster era, like creativity kind of movie. Um, I feel like every other film that Studio Laika has released since then has kind of been just okay. Like their second film was Paranorman, and that one was decent. Like it was a decent film. I'm not gonna say it was like this is one of the most classic films ever made. I'm gonna say it's all right. It's all right. And then after that, I think they made Box Trolls after Paranorman. I want to say Box Trolls, which I remember watching that. And I thought it's all right. It's all right. Um, and I think after Box Trolls, they made oh, what did they make? Oh yeah, they made Kubo and the Two Strings after Box Trolls. Yeah, that was a pretty solid film. Was it the did I think it was a masterpiece like everyone who sees the film thinks it is? I mean, I liked it. I thought it had some fun like visual art direction in it. I thought it was like some of the best stop motion animation I've ever seen in my life. But when it comes to like a film that I like was you know, something that I would consider like the greatest films ever made, I don't know. Maybe if I rewatch it again, I might have that opinion. But right now, my opinion is I thought it was like a fun artistic outing, but I wouldn't say it was something that profoundly affected me. And then after that, they made Missing Link, which was okay. You know, it was an okay movie. So as you can see, their films were like, you know, they started off like on a high note with Coraline, great, awesome, great film. I think one of the reasons why it worked so well was because it had the direction of Henry Selick, who directed James and the Giant Peach, and he also directed, um, you know, Nightmare Before Christmas, which are two of some of the most iconic stop motion animated films ever made. And then he directs this, and of course, once again, another iconic stop motion animated film. It's got his visual signature style. But then he leaves the studio, and the studio hires other people to do the films. And I just feel like they don't really hire people who are truly like groundbreaking stop motion storytellers. I mean, they're great. They're great. I'm not saying like I'm not poo pooing their work at all. Their work's amazing visually. It's just I don't think any of their other films have landed or were as iconic as Coraline. That's all. Like I would say it was like Coraline, and then Paranorman, and then Box Trolls, and then Kubo and the Two Strings, and then Missing Link. So it's like, you know, I hope this Wildwood brings them back to their like, you know, Coraline heights. But the reason that film worked so well was because it had a director with a really strong vision, you know. And I mean, this movie looks like it has a strong vision, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, anywho, after we were discussing all that, and I remember my I went back to doing my duties, finished wiping all the check stands, finished taking out the rest of the trashes that were out because there's a few straggler trashes. Closed the produce blinds. My co-closer, he brought on the carts and the signs. It was doing some, you know, restocking shelves, and I cleared lot, and I finished the go backs, and we punched out. I asked for the co-manager to let me out because the front door was locked, so they did. I said good night, get home safe. And they said good night as well. And then, oh, I remember like before leaving, like right around the time when there were still a few customers in the store, they asked me if like I wanted to do the announcement on the intercom, and I said, well, I mean, I could try, but I might be a bit long-winded. So like, all right, well, that's fine. I'll do it. And they were a bit more straightforward about that. Yeah, I need to learn to be more straightforward. I need to not be as like, I can be long-winded sometimes. But yeah, I got out. I went in my car. I drove home. When I arrived home, I greeted my sister. She got some Domino's pizza and let me have the last slice. I heated that up using the pan and water method with the covering on. And then she made some brownies. So I had a brownie, and that was really good. And I got another Coke Zero. I had that. And I was watching a video from, I think, Matt the Meat Guy, where he was talking about the different fried fast food available. And yeah, it's like watching that. It was pretty interesting. Apparently, they really liked Raisin Canes. I used to like Raisin Canes, but ever since I got that food poisoning from them that one time, I think a year ago, I have been completely put off of going back to Raisin Canes. Like, I'm afraid to because I'm worried I'm gonna like throw up again. Because the last time I did, I ate it and I got foodborne illness and I threw up and I ended up having to call in sick the next day at work. So yeah. But anyways, and then I decided to take my vitamins, brush my teeth, and record my update video. So that's gonna do it for now. I'm gonna read my Dune book again, publish that, and then I'm gonna go to bed. So thanks for watching. Very much appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.